If not us, who? If not now, when? There is soil under pavement here that will never see the light of sun again. This is Ground Zero, and this is home of Green Bronx Machine. 4 stories up in a 110-year-old, often crumbling public school building that was built for generations prior. We are changing the lens and outcomes of public education and the definition of what is possible through the notion of a sustainable and just food system aligned to key school performance indicators while accelerating and demanding a clean economy. For so many, food is the problem, but for all of us, food is the solution.
Stephen RITZ.
Stephen RITZ.
Stephen RITZ. He's a force.
Heartwarming.
He's got such a passion.
It was amazing the energy that he brought to that room.
I frankly haven't met anybody on the planet that has the gift that he has.
Who's the white guy with the cheese hat? Just walking around the neighborhood. It was like, what's going on there?
Are you ready? In the South Bronx, we are putting the culture back into agriculture because I believe we live in a world of abundance, and it is my job to make sure every child gets a perfect plate of food.
Stephen RITZ and his Green Bronx Machine are opening young minds to science, nutrition, and wellness.
He grows happy students and 60,000 pounds of vegetables from outdoor and indoor gardens.
Stephen and his team, they take a legitimate, genuine concern in the kids that come through this program.
I gave birth to the first edible classroom in the United States in the 21st century. This is my tool of mass instruction.
I love what Stephen does, especially with students and young people, to get them to appreciate the connection between what goes in their body and what comes out of the earth. For them to make that connection, you change the trajectory of their diet and frankly, of their life as well.
Kids are so excited about eating healthier, and then they're learning science and math while they're doing it. Steve RITZ has it right.
Here's our hometown hero. His name is Stephen RITZ.
Mr. RITZ, the godfather of green.
We are headed to the White House for an event, yes.
Welcome Stephen RITZ to Midpoint. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
Communities like mine are starving for healthy, fresh food.
People should not have to leave their neighborhoods to live, learn, and earn in a better one. And if all of us put our stake in the ground, right where we live, we can grow something greater.
People leave the room thinking they can change the world. Not that they want to change the world, that they can change the world.
Nobody will go broke giving love. So give it often and give it daily and feel good about it. It is just easier to raise healthy children than fix broken men. Superman is not coming. We are the ones we are waiting for.
There is an amazing amount of energy in this man and in this movement because of that.
65,000 pounds of vegetables later. My favorite crop is organically grown citizens.
People just so badly want to take their picture with this guy.
We grow vegetables, but our vegetables grow students, schools, communities, and resilience.
Once you see it the first time, you're inspired. But the fact that you keep seeing it over and over again, how lives are being changed, then you're motivated. Something special is happening here.
You're in!
This is how change happens. One person, one community at a time.
Are you ready? Are you really ready? Let's do that!
Welcome back to TMZ Live. If there's one thing I always say, Harvey, great things come out of the Bronx. Great things.
That's true.
Come out of the Bronx.
It's true.
Don't sleep on the Bronx. And our guest is more proof of that. Stephen RITZ.
Please help me welcome the man, the myth, Mr. Stephen RITZ.
Wow.
Welcome,
Stephen.
Hey.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. All of you get an A+ for doing your research. My God, I haven't seen so many pictures of me since I've been to my mother's house. So thank you kindly. I am honored, humbled, and flattered to be here. I am coming to you live from the Bronx, from my living room. I'm just honored and humbled I think there are two things that really stand out to me most, and that is first and foremost, we are the ones we are waiting for. So, thank the person who invited you here today, because this is a community about us, for us, that serves us, that enables us to grow, live, and thrive. And the most important thing is the work that I do, which at the end of the day is growing happy, healthy citizens and high-performing schools. And I couldn't be more excited, delighted, or enthralled to be here and share this mission and my experience, strength, and hope with all of you. For those of you who don't know, there is a huge Zoom call meeting coming this Tuesday, and I am thrilled to share that Tower Garden and Juice Plus will be announcing a huge partnership with Green Bronx Machine in our classroom curriculum. Let me put it to you this way. I've done some research. There are 130,359 schools in the U.S. serving 49.8 million students. And it's my little goal to help serve each and every one of them with all of your support. So I'm super excited about that partnership. It's going to create a Green Bronx Machine classroom bundle, which will be a Tower Garden and our proven curriculum that will be available to schools through the company and through all of you starting on Tuesday. So I am excited. A week ago at this time, I was boarding a plane to Dubai, where I spent the weekend. Sunday is Monday there with Jane Goodall at the Sustainable City at Fairgreen International, a school which has won global acclaim in the middle of the desert. A school where children of privilege are doing one amazing thing. They are growing food consistently, and they are putting it at the heart of what they do. The school is an award-winning school. Just this week, I learned that I'm going to be working on the farm bill for the U.S. government. I was asked by the U.S. Senate to come down and advise. And I don't say any of this to impress you. I say it to impress upon you that literally 11 years ago, I was a 330-pound pre-diabetic, cirrhotic liver having really dysfunctional adult, not because I wanted to be, just because I was. And, today, this is what 60 looks like, 185 pounds and ready to party. And it's because of my relationship with this company, the relationship with the products, and most importantly, the love and support that I receive from this community. I am literally able to travel around the world and make epic happen. I'm excited to be here. There's so much good stuff happening. I'd love to answer some questions, see how I can be of service to all of you. Kudos to the Hicks sisters for putting together this incredible presentation. Again, I don't know how you found all that stuff, so you guys get the big ups on the video presentation. But for those of you who are here for the first time, 10 years ago, and I'm going to be writing a blog very soon because in April, it will be 10 years since I learned about Tower Garden, much less the juice company. And in 10 years, my life has been transformed in ways I cannot even imagine. First time I took the stage in Phoenix 10 years ago, April 2013. Oh my God, these are children who 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, never knew about fresh fruits and vegetables, much less being able to grow them, and are thriving in school. They're not only thriving in school, they are thriving in life. I'm not going to take all the credit for it. It takes a village to raise children, but this is a village, whether you are a Republican or a Democrat, no matter what your beliefs are, that, this rising tide lifts all boats. So I could not be more excited. It speaks to the power of now, the power of us, the power of this room, and the power of community to grow something greater. The income possibilities are outrageous. And this is the only company that I know of in the world where your paycheck is reflective of how many people you've helped. And literally, this company has helped so many people, including every single person on the call, and the coordinators, to live a better life, a more balanced life. And, we all have priorities, whether they're financial, health, emotional. All of this is about community. So I'm just thrilled, honored, humbled, and flattered to be here. I'm going to open up the chat room and see if there are any questions.
GQ, can you read off the questions for Steven?
But the first one is,
How are students that have graduated from the program, how are they doing, and are they able to support the newer students?
So what's really remarkable is, we just had some of the youngest. So the first group of students that were from that famous Teachers Change Lives, that video was filmed in Hunts Point in 2013. I recently attended their graduation. Each and every one of them graduated high school, and all of them are going to college, 94% of them on full scholarships. Now, I'm not going to take credit for all of that, but when children are engaged in something that they love, when you raise the bar of expectation for them, I'd rather fail here than succeed here. And those children are thriving. And some of the other children, it brings such a smile to my face. Some of them recently tested for the Bronx High School of Science. And to think about what that means in a community like ours, which is in the poorest congressional district and the least healthy county in all of New York State, with some of the poorest performing schools, to be able to send our students to school, to college. One of the things that I take the most pride of, and you saw some footage of Gotham Greens, is that 2,200 living wage jobs later. That's what we do. So this is an opportunity at a time in this nation where food has never been more important. The ability to grow it efficiently, effectively, locally, and resourcefully has never been more celebrated. So the skills that these young people are getting are translating into amazing things. And most importantly, like Seth, Seth Goldman, a hero of mine, the founder of Honest Tea, now Just Iced Tea, and of Eat the Change. These kids' trajectories of their lives have changed forever. Let me be clear. I'll speak very frankly here. Food justice is racial justice. And who has access to what, where, when, and how determines everything. And the greatest, in a world that is globally challenged, not only by food, but by global warming, the way we look at food growth, food distribution, and who has access to what really can impact children and the planet into perpetuity. So this is a company whose pathos, ethos, and logos align with mine. The mission to inspire healthy living and inspire healthy learning all around the world, I think resonates with everybody. So the children are literally thriving. I think the greatest testament to that was, quite frankly, as some of you may know, my wife is thank God in recovery after a very difficult illness. And I will share with you that during that time, when people found out, we didn't get hundreds of calls. We got thousands of calls from children all around who've come through the program as far back as the 80s, even before there was a Green Bronx machine. So I like to think that we're building community, we're building hope, and growing opportunity. So kids are absolutely thriving, and we're going to be sharing some of the, listen, we have the first food ambassadors in New York City. These young people put a farm at Yankee Stadium. So to think about what we're doing, a month ago, I was summoned to the United Nations, and next month, 800 Tower Gardens are going to Italy. So think about what we can do here collectively and individually. This rising tide lifts all boats.
My name is Stephen RITZ, and I am CEO, Chief Eternal Optimist of Bronx County. We're gonna actually grow our own lunch. We're going to grow our own food today. We're gonna go from seed to plate.
A Tower Garden is like this plant, but you don't need soil. And then the water comes up, and then it comes down and rain on the roots.
Adults think you can't farm in the South Bronx. Tell it to these kids. They're farming. For so many, food is the problem. Yet for all of us, food is a solution. We have some of the highest rates of juvenile diabetes and juvenile obesity in the nation. And we can change that. We absolutely have the power to change schools in this generation.
I think I still see the seed.
That happens, exactly.
You mean I can pass it around and they can see the seed in the plant?
My job is to teach kids how we can grow food. And I'm asking everyone to roll up their sleeves and get a little dirty and grow something greater.
He lets us plant stuff like salad, cucumbers, tomatoes.
My 4th and 5th graders came into a classroom with no windows to build a tower garden and literally turned it into a farm. And we talked about how healthy food builds healthy minds and healthy bodies, and where are we doing it? Right here in school.
So did everybody plant a seed?
Yeah!
the excitement and the joy that these little kids feel putting a seed in the ground and watching it blossom. OMG, as they say, this is their moment.
I think he cares about us a lot and he wants us to learn and have fun at the same time.
I'm not a farmer, but I'm planting seeds.
He always says, like, seeds are like people because they need love and they grow and grow and grow to be successful people.
To use 21st century technology to generate food and to create this beautiful thing to sit by that you can actually eat is game-changing. It's empowering. They're growing. The plants are growing, and they're responsible for it. And when they know they can grow their own, they really start changing the way they see their relationship to the world and their place in it. So thank you for that. And again, those were the children that I was referring to. And that is in Hunts Point, which is probably one of the most challenged communities in all the Bronx, in the Bronx. And to think 100% of those children graduate and thriving is really what I'm doing. It really brings me a great deal of pride. While the videos were playing, I will share with you this. We have a brand new video out with food inspiration, which highlights where children from across the city call this classroom a sanctuary. On the Green Bronx Machine website, there is a trailer for our brand new documentary called Generation Growth, which was a 3-year film in the making, which highlights our expansion across the country. I want to shout out Edie Howland because Maine, I can't even imagine how cold it is in Maine. But yes, what's beautiful about what Edie shared is that there is a famous artist, a gentleman named Robert Shetterly, who has painted a series of portraits, many of which are at the Smithsonian, about Americans who tell the truth. And I was honored and humbled to be one of those portraits painted. Robert is a dear friend. You know, so I'm going to look at this first one right here. How do you approach people who are unresponsive? Listen, I believe in the power of success. And if you don't want to get with the success that because it's not me, that we are having, that's okay. You know, if I give you a box of marbles and I tell you there are 1,000 marbles in the box and one of them is purple, you can walk through you can pick marble after marble quickly and get to the purple marble because that's what you want. Or you can sit there and say, oh, white marble, I wish you were the purple marble. How can I make you the purple marble? No, in life, you've got to seek the purple marbles and you've got to seek like-minded folks. And I believe the power of attraction is perhaps the most powerful form of persuasion. So for me, I believe that you get people on board by succeeding. That is that's the easiest way. I will share with you, people are asking about how do you get funding? This is a great point in time to discuss funding because right now there has never been more funding available in public schools. Due to the American Recovery Act, due to a lot of reasons, due to post-COVID money, schools have tons of money. In fact, schools have so much money that a lot of them don't even realize that because they're so busy dealing with some of the other issues of school around mental health issues, staffing, attendance, wellness. It's a tough time in schools for sure, but money is the least difficult obstacle to overcome. Realize a teacher textbook is $725. So a small piece of equipment that costs $1,300, I recommend the Flex in schools for a lot of reasons. I could talk about that separately. Is really nothing that a school can't afford. And again, you're getting free refills for the rest of your life. It's actually a piece of technology that pays for itself and offers a multiplier effect. So again, I don't let funding get in the way. I don't let traditional conventions get in the way. I do look at two things that are really important. Number one, you need a champion teacher because at the end of the day, that tower garden is a living, breathing thing, just like a puppy, just like a child, just like a pet. It needs maintenance. So someone needs to take care of it. And you also need a supportive administration. Now more than ever, we are seeing supportive administration because kids are screened out. Post-COVID, as kids come back to school, the ability to put a living, breathing, thriving object in a class that can align to Common Core, next generation science standards, and all sorts of subject matter instruction is a brilliant addition. Kids don't want to be on screens. Kids want something they can touch, taste, smell. I always say with all of these videos, the one thing that I wish we had the most of is smell-o-vision, so that you can literally smell fresh arugula in a classroom, that you can actually see what these things look like and how children interact with them. So again, I don't see obstacles, I see opportunities. And at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to hear your message, don't take it personally. Keep it moving. The evidence, the data, the facts. And the cool thing about science is that it's true, whether you believe it or not. The facts and the data speak for itself. I will share with you on the Green Bronx Machine side, as much as I love happy, healthy children, our number one client are school principals and school superintendents, because this program ticks off so many boxes. And of course, now, thanks to the company, you guys will learn more on Tuesday, we're going to make that process for sales reps and partners with a small p and a capital P absolutely seamless. And best of all, it's a data-driven program. So at Green Bronx Machine, we manage data. And what does the data show us? The data has shown us that, our schools outperform their peer index neighbors by more than 10 percentage points in each of the 10 areas of school performance. You can't argue with that. It's an absolutely low-cost intervention that influences both school performance. By the way, we have 100% teacher satisfaction. Think about that in this age when teachers are struggling with so much, to have a program where 100% of them love the program and the program exceeds their expectations. 94% student satisfaction. 94% of the students who go through this program want to do it again. And what do those good habits build? They build more good habits. So again, it's an exciting time. The data speaks for itself. This Tuesday, I'm putting together a presentation with data that will literally amaze you, that will astonish you, and will make it absolutely seamless for you to contact a teacher or administrator or a PTA and go forward with this. And again, we have 675 schools using Green Bronx Machine curriculum across the country. In addition to a bunch across the nation. In the next 60 days, I'll be adding 75 schools. We'll be doubling our entire footprint in 2023, plus 800 schools in Italy and schools all across the globe. So it's a two-person organization. The better looking part of this organization, my dear wife, Lizette, is not with me tonight, but it goes to show you, you don't have to be big. You don't have to be huge. What you have to do is show up daily and be consistent and have best protocols and procedures. And that's what we spent years doing. This has been a long time in the making.
Grant writing. So opportunities in grant writing. You mentioned that there's a lot of money out there for schools just because of the Build Back Better and other things. But in terms of grant writers or things that people want to pursue.
Great. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to tell you right now, the Whole Kids Foundation grant is open. They give away $6 million in $3,000 increments. Any grant that includes a tower garden and a Green Bronx Machine classroom curriculum, because of the data that we generate and the proven success of our program, is almost guaranteed to be approved, particularly if you are in a community that has a high economic need index. Most importantly, one of the things that I'm looking to do with the company is start hosting monthly or bi-monthly grant writing meetings. I post on the Stephen RITZ website, and I also believe on the Green Bronx Machine website, literally hundreds of grants that people can go for, that they can write. Now, if you haven't written a grant, I want to help you. And I'm looking in partnership with the company to literally start bi-monthly grant writing meetings. So that's writing grants. You don't have to be great. But you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great. And it's basically telling a story. And it's not so much in a grant, the story of the company. What a grant wants to do is, how will this person who's donating money be able to measure the efficacy of the money they're donating and trace the impact? And we know for fact, that's how Green Bronx Machine started, by capitalizing on local grant money. Creating a product and a service that measured and reported data that made people want to donate again and again and again. So I'm very proud of that. Grant writing is basically about persistence, if you will. You've got to be precise and concise. A lot of them are character restricted applications, which means, you don't have to be verbose. You have to be concise. You've got to be timely in your applications. But again, this is a skill that I can teach anyone, and I'm thrilled that the company and Green Bronx Machine are coming together to enable me to help all of you do that. I know personally I've helped hundreds of people write grants, and realize there are over 7,000 tower gardens in schools as we speak. Now, that's a lot of Tower Gardens, but there are still 123,000 schools left that need them. And the coolest thing that we've learned is that schools, and this is a real important thing to realize, is that schools that have the curriculum, our curriculum comes with a lifetime site license and unlimited access to me. And sometimes, if you have a school that doesn't have curriculum, the ability to offer them curriculum where that curriculum lives at the school with unlimited training allows schools to go back and buy multiple Tower Gardens, because the program wasn't about a champion teacher. It was about a champion program that lives and thrives and survives into perpetuity in a school. So really, you can sell one tower to a school and hope it sticks, or you can sell towers forever to a school and really build programming. And that's what, for me, it's all about. It's really about building networks of schools that don't have one, but grades are competing, classes are competing. It's being used in the cafeteria. It's being used in a veggie and backpack program, sending kids home with vegetables, because now more than ever, listen, a head of lettuce is $10 in Florida. A head of romaine lettuce is $10 in Florida. So think about what that means. Thank you, Ruth Presley. This is amazing. And it's not me, it is we. That's what we are a part of. It's a movement. It has gone from what I would say a moment to a movement. So I could not be more excited. And again, I'm just one of many. I'm just the guy not wearing the cheese hat tonight and in the green glasses who really loves being the champion of all this, because I've seen it change my life, my students' lives, my colleagues' lives, and schools and communities around the country. Go ahead, Johnny, hit me.
So it leads right into your curriculum. What are some of the topics that it may cover that we can share, or as we talk to our administrators and other teachers?
Great. So now let me be clear. There are two sets of materials out there. Right now on the Tower Garden website, there are standalone lessons and activities, and those are great standalone lessons and activities. Green Bronx Machine has its own proprietary curriculum, which is literally an all-you-can-eat buffet of lesson plans that is reading, writing, math, science, social studies, art, cooking, inquiry, data diving, each and every day for 9-week growing cycles that accompany the growth of a Tower Garden. You actually start the curriculum before you start growing. It is Common Core aligned, Next Generation Science Standard aligned, IB aligned. It combines to the Sustainable Development Goals. So I have schools that are using Green Bronx Machine curriculum each and every day in all subjects just to teach school. And for me, it is taking this object, this amazing object, the Tower Garden, putting it in class and creating daily activities that support basic student skills. Now, you can use all of it. You can use some of it. It goes weekly. It comes with testing. It comes with assessment. It comes with online videos. It comes with digital support. It comes with everything you need to thrive. So it is a comprehensive program. It took us about 2.5 years and close to $200,000 to build out, just to give you some context. So it's not just an occasional activity. And listen, there are some things that are going to happen to a Tower Garden no matter what. They're either going to live or they're going to die. Sometimes they die for a variety of reasons. The custodian pulls out the plug. Kids forget to add water. You don't put in the right nutrients. Our curriculum takes into effect all of that. It's my job to grow happy, healthy, high-performing schools. And the Tower Garden is a patented piece of aeroponic technology that works. So it's literally a perfect combination. So again, teachers use it all day. Some teachers use it for after school. Some teachers use it for science. Some teachers use it for math. You will see on Tuesday night, I'm going to reveal data about learning children who have unique learning capabilities and some who have disabilities, what this Tower Garden in class has done for them as an activity to build self-esteem, to teach inclusivity, and really to connect them to other living, breathing things. I mean, the beautiful thing about plants is, number one, they don't eat their young. There's no poop to scoop and no floaters at the top of the tank. So when you give children, particularly post-COVID, the opportunity to care for something and see that something thrive, what that does for them socially, emotionally, and kind of from a self-esteem perspective, particularly post-COVID, where so many children in communities like mine have suffered such great loss, is game-changing. So, I believe that we are connecting kids, particularly in some of the most hardened cities and most really challenged communities, to something amazing. And that amazing thing is called nature. And when you teach children about nature, you teach them to nurture. And when we teach children to nurture, we as a society collectively embrace our better nature. And most importantly, it's like my t-shirt says, kids get to be their own hero. They get to come to school and start with this teeny tiny thing in their hand, a little seed. And 30, 40, 50, 60 days later, they have this epic thing that they can eat, sell, or share. And while there are lots of kids who don't like vegetables, and let me be clear, there are kids who don't want to eat vegetables. I've never met a child that's allergic to money. And growing your own food is literally a license to print your own money now more than ever, or to send it home to someone you know who is hungry. And that's a real important thing. On the flip side, I have a bunch of second and third graders. You talked about your microgreen extension kits. We have a contingent, and in communities like mine across the country, we are plagued with disease, and death. Some of the cancer rates in communities like mine in inner cities are just phenomenal. And we are working in partnership with Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital, and my second and third graders are growing microgreens weekly, prescriptive microgreens for seniors who are both food insecure and recovering from cancer. And when our little ones learn that they can grow food to feed seniors who for so many reasons are the eyes and ears of our community, and that food is medicine, that changes everything for them. And it also drives home the subliminal message about how important food is, because children will never be well-read if they're not well-fed. And make no doubt about it, the most important school supply in the world is food. So when children see these seniors who are sick and frail starting to eat vegetables and becoming stronger, and then coming back to school and volunteering with them and being reading partners, it is an absolute recipe for success.
I know you're in great demand now, but such as places like Gainesville, Florida, and other places around the country, what would it take to actually get you to come on location?
A phone call and an email. I can't be everywhere, so let me manage expectations. But, I am here for you. This company and this movement has afforded me the opportunity to change lives in ways I've never imagined. So if I'm available, I come. I always suggest that you reach out through corporate. There's X amount of dollars to get me there out of the corporate budget. But if you have an independent budget and you want me to come down, I am delighted to talk to you and delighted to make Epic happen. To give you some context, I recently celebrated 1 million miles on Delta and 1 million miles on Emirates Airlines. So I'm not opposed to traveling. Pre-COVID, I was literally on the road more than I was home. I'm trying to balance that out now, but if there's a community that needs me, I'm determined to be there. And the one thing that we have figured out post-COVID is, look, we're having a great Zoom conversation right now. My biggest regret, and I shared that with Sharon, is that I couldn't be in my classroom to take this call, because to see our classroom, which is a 110-year-old building in the middle of public housing, and let me be clear, it is a challenged, rough and tough community filled with wonderful people. So I don't want to speak ill of the people. I want to speak of the challenges that my heroic community faces daily. Believe it or not, we didn't have heat in NYCHA last night. Imagine what that's like. So, but most importantly, I want to be part of communities that need me and get in there. And these are communities where traditionally there is no fresh food. So when you learn that you can grow food and share it, it's game changing. I want every classroom to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of opportunity, and to show that we are, when you talk about those LED lights, that we are the light inside of our tunnel instead of the light at the end of the tunnel, which often comes from somewhere far away.
Thank you so much. This was just such a blessing. And I want to thank Sharon for reaching out to you and getting you here to us. You are epic.